it brings me pleasure to now invite Mr. Jeroninio Almeida, Principal Consultant at iCONGO Intel and Associates, Gurgaon. He is a St. Xavier's High School Mumbai alumnus. He has also worked in the role of Management Consulting and Leadership Trainer, US-India Business Alliance India, British High Commission. And let us see what Sir has to say about the Inspired Leadership concept.
So leadership, knowledge sharing, learning and trust are indispensable to each other. That's my formal belief as a leadership coach, management consultant. I basically feel that inspired leadership is about working with people to help them to become more, do more, innovate more, and see how they can contribute more to the workplace, to the nation, to society, and emerge as leaders. People think that leadership is about having a lot of people following you. I think it's a very redundant and very unhappening concept of leadership, because leaders don't have followers. Leaders create more leaders and inspire people that what is it that we can do together for the greater goals, the common goals. So, interesting thoughts from Mani Joyce. Pleasure knowing more about your work. It's been a long association with soil, so thank you for inviting me. Thank you for all the introductions and the illustrations. And I think what I'll do is I'll just try to kind of open up the mind space, because I'm not really used to, as a leadership coach and a management consultant, I try to work with people to create interactivity, because the learning gets enhanced more, right? So let me start by saying that generations have changed, yes. Mindsets have moved. And I think I am qualified to say this because I work in the corporate sector day in day out. I work with leadership teams, like I was telling that I work with people who are in the so-called glass houses, and I also work with people who are in the grassroots. And I always say that if you don't blend the wisdom from the grassroots, the intelligence from the glass house is redundant, because you don't really know what's happening on the ground. So mindsets are not changed. And I say this because, again, I work with the people who are 55 and 58, and I work with young leaders who are 25 and 30. Right? So why do I say this? Let me just start by asking a simple question. Who is your biggest hero? Let's have some answers. So who is your biggest hero? Who is your idea of a leader? Who is your biggest leader? Anyone? You can just stand up and tell me a name.
No, I'm sure you have leaders.
Who is your biggest hero? Who is your... No, I want the students. So I'm sure that... yeah, we can start with this since you put your hand up first.
John F. Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy. Brilliant. Okay. Anybody else?
Genghis Khan.
Who?
Genghis Khan.
Okay.
Jim Gardner.
Jim Gardner. Okay. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am?
My father.
Your father. Very nice. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Sachin Tendulkar.
Who?
Sachin Tendulkar.
Sachin Tendulkar, of course. Of course. The God. And I always say, pehle insaan bane, Bhagwan Babu. Yes, sir?
Steve Jobs was...
Steve Jobs. Very nice. So, I'm very happy to see that there's a mixed bag of answers here. I'm working with people day in, day out, in different companies, different organizations. I see that most people's idea of heroes and idea of success is very frivolous. I was happy to see that some people have their father as a hero, some people have Jim Gardner as a hero. John F. Kennedy speaks a different story altogether. But again, the reason I'm asking that is because if we don't have the right hero, we'll end up emulating the wrong guy. It's a psychological study. Whoever is your biggest hero is who you end up emulating. It's a neuro-linguistic programming technique. Right? It's called modeling. Right? So the only person who was living and who I have as a hero is a man called Noam Chomsky. Have you heard of him? Noam Chomsky is one of the biggest voices of dissent. Not one of the biggest, but the biggest voice of dissent in this world. And I was happy that some people touched upon about how you need to voice your dissent. I don't see that much in the corporate culture. It showed in Satyam a few few years ago. It shows in the report a few months ago. Young chaps like you and me, who siphoned out all the funds from us, hollowed it out. Where was the voice of dissent? Where was the voice of conscience? Did those two guys siphon off all the money? And there were a few people who were cronies with them. I say there were a lot of people involved because there was a culture of silence. Generations have changed, mindsets have. Then I'll keep going back to that. Right? Socrates had said, I cannot teach anyone anything, I can only make you think. So I'm just going to try to make you think. And I'll tell you why I say generations have changed, mindsets have not. Right? Sachin Tendulkar, who is a hero and a god to a lot of people. Very few people know what Sachin Tendulkar is really about. Right? So Sachin Tendulkar does not pay duty on the Ferrari, voice of conscience, sells the Ferrari for 25 lakhs of rupees, voice of conscience, and claims that he needs the 25 lakhs to build a house. The man underwrites, the man's management company underwrites 200 crores for him every year. And yet the man who is in cahoots with people like Mukesh Ambani has similar mindset because he usurps orphanage land and builds his bungalow on that. And a young chap who puts the RTI against him, puts a case against him, he also ensures that he makes life miserable for everyone. That's why I said, "Insan banne do pehle, Bhagwan fir bane." Right? So don't follow the wrong heroes. Unfortunately, generations have changed, mindsets have not. We become a nation and a world of hero worshippers. All the wrong hero worshippers. Right? You know, in '95, I grew up in Bombay and I lived in Bombay. Right? In 1995, I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours in a very elite place called Bandra, Linking Road, if you're familiar with it. Right? And after knowing the reason why I was stuck in the traffic for 2 hours, I was cursing all those people who were responsible for my being stuck in traffic for 2 hours. Any idea why I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours? I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours because of a line which was almost 5 kilometers long. And people standing in line for almost 6 to 7 hours or something. Any idea what they were standing for? 1995. No, it was not even for religious sentiment.
Some celebrity.
No, it was not even for hero worship. No, it was not for water. Water is the least valued thing in our world. So what if the next world war will be on water? Diamonds are more important. BMWs are more important. No idea? No, it was not a politician passing by. They're standing in line for 6 to 7 hours. Elite, educated executives from a very rich place called Bandra standing in line for 7 hours for a 20 rupee product.
What was that?
A 20 rupee product. What do you get for 20 rupees? Oh, the American version. McDonald's. The first McDonald's had opened in India, Bandra, at Linking Road. Generations have changed, mindsets have not. 6 months ago, people were standing for a Starbucks. Same thing, same story, 7 to 8 hours. The same people won't stand in line for a passport or a driving license. Over there, they'll get a tout, pay him some money. I'm not bribing the people. The tout takes care of it. We know it. And then we say we are India against corruption. Wake up, guys. Wake up. And I keep saying this, that I cannot awaken people who pretend to be the same. You don't need a terror attack or a Nirbhaya to awaken people every day. Why can't you stay awake all the time? Right? So you go back to 95, it was almost a generation ago. They were standing in line then, they're standing in line now. This is the world's largest democracy. We can proudly claim to be the world's largest democracy because we are 1.3 billion Indians. Any idea which is the world's greatest democracy? So they claim. No idea? Just the United States of America. The land of the brave and the free. The land of the brave and the free is no different. People stand in line over there also, not for 5 hours. 5 days, 7 days. Not for a 20 rupee product, for a 20,000 rupee product. Created by Steve Jobs. If you do a Google search for cues, how can democracies work? How can citizens be responsible when you are so frivolous? Just trying to provoke thought process. I work with a lot of HR people. Some of them are very brilliant people, some of them there. And It's like working with some of them who are trying to break norms and bring in some innovation. But mostly I see HR people who are still following the Maslow's law. And how redundant is that? Right? The bell curve. What is that? What's the bell curve? And some of the most stupid concepts of management, because management and leadership are two different things. People are not human beings, people are things. We use people to love things, when it should have been the other way around. People are things because in every company, in every NGO, in every government office, people are expenses, they are resources, they are not human beings. Inse kaam nichoro. Now management and leadership is a very thin line, but it's a very big difference. Most people working in the corporate sector are managers. They've got to take that leap to become leaders. Because leaders don't work with Excel sheets and targets. Leaders work with people. They try to unleash talent in them. But I don't see that unleashing of talent. Mostly talent is like we so what are they here for? Ask them first, what is the mission of our organization? Most people won't know. Because they'll come prepared for the interview to answer you for all the questions, but they'll never bother to figure out what is the mission and the vision and the values of the organization. Because it's the least important. And I say that if they know that, then ask them, what is your mission? And how are you aligned with your mission with our mission? Most people are working in 9 to 5 days. There is no concept of responsibility, there is no concept of duty, there is no concept of passion, there is no concept of vocation. Right? I'm just going to make you think, right? A lot of chat people tell me, Jerry, take the teams out and build some passion. I say, so is passion available in the ambience mall? I can't, because passion is not available in the ambience mall. Ambience mall is a nice mall, 1 kilometer on every floor, but I can't buy passion there. So the next thing is, no, Jerry, what we're trying to say is that take them out white water rafting. I'm like, very nice, it will be a good trip. I'll take 2 minutes. Because you can take them white water rafting, it will be a good adventure, it will be a lot of fun. But I said, and I kept saying this around a year ago, I wrote the blog finally. I said, that's like taking the monkey to the L'Oreal salon. And I worked with L'Oreal earlier, so I know L'Oreal products are very effective. And I said, the monkey might come out looking like Aishwarya Rai or Johnny Rai, but that's cosmetic change. For 7 days they can go back to being the monkey. So I said, if you really want to change and infuse passion in them and build team spirit and team passion, do something which builds character. Nobody focuses on character. Everybody's focusing on the personality. I promise you the Armani suit cannot give you content or character. The BMW cannot give you content or character. The Omega watch cannot do that. It's only learning. And learning is the least of the worries for most people working or the NGOs. Nobody's trying to enhance the other person's knowledge and unleash that talent. And I say share the knowledge, because a lot of people in all sectors are very scared about sharing knowledge, because if I share knowledge with that person, he'll become less dependent on me and I'll lose power on him. That's the power play. It's sad, but that's what's happening across generations. Generations have changed mindsets. Right? I can go on, but the gong is gone. So, thank you. I hope I managed to provoke the thought process. Thank you so much.